So the Roubaix 2022 Cup recently concluded, and it ended in a fashion no one could have seen coming. Big upset Faze in the grand finals to beat them 2-1. It was a super close series with the scorelines being 16-13, 14-16, and 19-17, but Big managed to bring it home in a very surprising fashion.
Yeah, but it is important to note that it was an online tournament, thus everyone knows that the pressure is not exactly the same from an online event. Big did win barely, but it did require some superstar performances as well as some underperformances from FaZe.
Yeah, Searson concluded the series with a 1.33 rating, which is super impressive compared to FaZe where Twist did really well. He ended with a 1.28, but everyone else on FaZe not so much. 3 out of their 5 players ended with under a 1 rating, and Brokey had a 1.06.
I think the main concern on both sides, and not a concern for Big, but main momentum factor, is that FaZe has been struggling as of late coming into Cologne, and Big are peaking at the right time. And momentum in events is such a big deal. For the individual players on FaZe, that's a harsh negative, and hopefully they can get it together in these 2 weeks till the event. But Big are looking really good to be a dark horse at Cologne.
Especially with them coming off such a high, and they'll be playing in Cologne, in Germany, and they'll have the home crowd advantage if they make it to the arena. They'll be a super good pick for a dark horse at the event.
Yeah, especially considering how big, no pun intended, Searson has been playing lately. They've really been impressing a lot of really good teams. And with Gabi as their coach, they have a deep system there that's been in place for quite some time now. And I think with Searson and Tabson, those two alone are making this team extremely interesting to watch.
Yeah, getting into the details of the match, it was quite back and forth the whole time. So, admittedly, in defensive phase, it wasn't a blowout in any sense. But Big are, I don't even know what their world rating is, but
It's
it's
11.
11 compared to Phase, the number one team in the world. This is an upset that should have never happened.
Yeah, I think FaZe really needs to make sure they're focused for this Cologne event. They've had a couple of showings and a good amount of events so far. They really should have won post major, but they didn't. I think they'll be able to get it together with a big LAN, and I think as long as they make it to playoffs, they will probably make it to the grand final. But with Navi there, as well as Big and Ents starting to figure things out, they might get upset once again.
I'm also very interested to see what Phase come into this event with, seeing as they don't have to play in the play-in stage, so they'll have about 2 weeks to prepare. And I'm sure they're probably in Cologne very soon, boot camping and coming hard for such a huge event.
Yeah, Karrigan had spoken about how they hadn't really had much time in between events to practice. I'm surprised they didn't just skip some of these events so that the team had time to relax post major, but I think you're right. They're definitely going to be boot camping for this period and coming in with a whole new game plan.
And they've played in a lot of these smaller tier 1 events. They played in Dallas and fell short. They played in what was that one last week?
I think it was Blast, like a Blast Showdown. No, I'm not
Nah.
sure.
Yeah, but the point being, like, they've played in a lot of these tier 1 events that I feel like would have been more beneficial for them to skip and prep for Cologne, seeing as there's going to be a pretty big player break right after Cologne, and they would want to finish this season really strong.
Yeah, in conclusion, Big have been trending upwards as of late, and Cologne being in their home country, they really have a chance to upset and once again make the grand final as they did a few years ago. And FaZe have brought a lot of reason for concern, and if this roster is going to be able to make it deep post major, or if the major has really satisfied the likes of Rain and Karrigan in their careers.